Andy, well, from the high of that incredible weekend at Queen's with the Davis Cup, bit of a setback last week in Washington. But I wonder how difficult is it at this time of year to sort of make that transition after so long on the clay and the grass and switching back to the hard courts?
Yeah, I think it's not so difficult to get used to timing the ball again. On the hard courts, that's one of the easier things to do because it's obviously a true bounce, but just physically it's demanding playing on the hard courts. It's tough on the joints, it's hard on the body, and obviously the grass and the clay are a little bit more forgiving, and that's the thing that takes a little bit of time for your body to get used to that. But yeah, last week in Washington was a tough loss. Had a chance to serve the match out there and didn't, and if I got through that one, maybe I would have started to feel a little bit better, but couldn't quite make it, and yeah, it's given me a few extra days to prepare here at least.
I mean, obviously you did have runner-up finishes in Australia and Miami earlier this year, so I guess you can take heart from showing some pretty good hard-court form earlier this season, can't you?
Yeah, I mean, I played well on the hard courts this year, with semis in Indian Wells too, and yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm playing good tennis. It's just it's different conditions here in Indian Wells and Miami, where the courts are pretty slow. Washington and here are quite quick, and I played well here in the past. Yeah, hopefully I can have a good run and give myself some confidence going into the next few weeks.
You did look pretty physically spent, I have to say, at the end of that Davis Cup weekend. I mean, how important is that kind of rest, that break at the end of this summer break there?
Yeah, I mean, it's very important. With Davis Cup, that obviously changes things a little bit in terms of your schedule. Normally after Wimbledon I'll take a break kind of straight afterwards, and then spend a couple of weeks preparing to get ready for the conditions over here, but I didn't have that this year. I had my holiday and then went straight over to Washington to get ready there, and just tried to keep my body in sort of match mode, and yeah, it's just got Novak putting me off behind you. He's pulling faces, so I don't want to let him know what it is I've been doing in training and stuff either. But yeah, I've been preparing well, and hopefully I can have a good run here.
Yeah, I've been asking everyone actually a bit of interest of that sort of mid-season break. I mean, I guess it's kind of important to have the rest, but to find that balance of rest and also kind of keeping up the sort of fitness regime. I mean, what sort of things do you do to sort of keep fit but also rest in that little break there?
Well, that's the thing. I didn't really have time to do loads of physical preparation, so because I only had like 5 or 6 days off, I kind of just tried to keep my body in the shape that it was in, at the end of Wimbledon or the Davis Cup, because I played so many matches that my body's ready for that. And yeah, I just got to try to get through this summer as best as I can, and through the Davis Cup, and then after that I can reduce my schedule a lot towards the end of the year and get some rest in after that.
And looking at here in Canada, it's not been particularly kind to you the last few years. Is that perhaps a sign of sort of, I guess emotionally and physically draining sort of summers, especially at Wimbledon and Olympics over the last few years?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I haven't really thought about it. I like the conditions here, but yeah, I've struggled last couple of years in Canada, and yeah, I don't know why it is. It could be partly because of that, and also I've lost to some tough opponents as well. I lost to Gulbis here, who's big server and tricky guy to play, and last year lost to Tsonga, who went on to win the tournament, and it was a break up in the third set in that match. So yeah, hopefully that doesn't happen this year, and yeah, I've got here quite early, and I've got a doubles match at least before my first round, so hopefully I'll be ready.